BENtv Forex and Cargo are proud to sponsor the Uganda Vision program. Contact us if you want to send cargo or transfer money to loved ones in Uganda. Call us on 0208 884 4060. You want to send cargo or transfer money to loved ones in Uganda. Call us on 0208 884 4060. Tunasanye kubawuliza no bawereza.
Hello and welcome to this week's Uganda Vision program. My name is Salome Kazana, as usual. I'm my co-host Paris, together with George, and several interviews that you will experience tonight have been taking place. Where are we? We are here at the World Travel Market exhibition at the Excel Center here. And this week, as usual, you will hear a lot from interesting personalities that are involved in tourism of Uganda, right from the Minister of Tourism to the individuals that have set up companies to promote tourism in Uganda. As you can see, the Ugandan stall is just behind me here, and to neighboring it is Burundi, and as you can continue to see, we have Malawi on my far right, and also we have the South African stand at the other exhibition, and also Tanzania at my far back. Kenya is somewhere hidden around here. Every country has been represented here. Every country with anything interesting about tourism. But most important of all, this week we're going to show you about Uganda and how we displayed ourselves and the important personalities about tourism from Uganda. Now today, like all other programs, we will have the music from all regions of Uganda. We will have comedy by the top comedians from Uganda and all the interesting documentaries and interviews, especially the interviews. Please, they are very interesting personalities. Watch them all, and we're waiting for your feedback. The contacts are on the screen, and if anything else, contact us at Uganda Vision and support Uganda Vision. Enjoy watching Uganda Vision program tonight.
Fair is a conventional and globally recognized tourism and travel fair, which is annual, and
if you are an economist,
the participation of people interested to one of our leading source markets. We are also here to showcase our recent recognition as the destination for 2012 according to the rating by the Lonely Planet, and besides also to strengthen the business relationships by the players between Uganda and the UK market, so that we can see an increased traffic of tourists to Uganda. There is no better time for promoting tourism in Uganda than now, because that is the destination for 2012. You can visit the lonelyplanet.com. It tells you really about the unique attributes that Uganda has and why it must be visited. So we passionately appeal to you to make Uganda your destination of choice for 2012.
Welcome to Uganda Vision at WTM. With me here is Uganda's Minister of Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage, Professor Ephraim Kamuntu. Minister, yes, what state is Uganda's tourism industry?
Let me begin with other people other than me who have assessed recently the state of tourism in our country. There is Lonely Planet, which is one of the world's largest book guide, tourist book guide and digital publishers in the world. They have recently carried out a survey through a wide variety of sources, and their conclusion in the rating is right now Uganda is rated #1, top of the range. #1 preferred tourist destination in the year 2012, the coming year. And the coming year coincides with Uganda's 50 years of independence. That is our golden jubilee silver celebration for the day. So, in a nutshell, Uganda is now positioned, it is repositioning itself to be one of the most visited countries in the region, showing the importance we now attach to tourism. And I can emphasize this. Tourism before was regarded as a leisurable activity for foreigners. It was regarded as not part of national development strategy. That has changed. That has now changed. In our national development plan, which is a 5-year development plan, 2015-2016, tourism is identified as one of the primary growth sectors of the economy, as the engine of economic transformation, along with agriculture, if you can imagine the importance of agriculture in our economy, along with oil and gas, if you can imagine oil and gas in the economy, along with manufacturing. That's the league of sectors defined as the source of engine for the development of our country. Tourism is one of them. So, back to your question, what is the state of Uganda's tourism at this moment? Rated #1, preferred tourist destination in the coming year 2012. Not by the minister in charge, no, by professional publishers who are absolutely experienced, knowledgeable, and they have world-class standards. Uganda is top of the rank.
Minister, what steps has the government taken to protect the endangered species?
We have a series of measures we have taken. Let me begin with Uganda Wildlife Education Center Trust work at BENtv, which is a center aimed at rescuing an endangered species, particularly the international game trafficking of arresting some people taking these animals who are endangered, being restored and kept at BENtv Uganda Wildlife Education Center Trust. But we have also measures including restocking of rhinos, rhinoceros, which was becoming extinct. We now have rhino sanctuary in Uganda, and we are restoring that special, unique rhino because of its horn. People hunt it down like you have never seen it. We are restoring it. We also have increased concern and attention to securing the national parks and game reserves so that you have boundaries that minimizes the conflict between human and wildlife on land use. We have the challenge right there. That challenge we still have there because we would need either perimeter fencing or trenches or snares that scare animals back into the game park so that they don't move out and the human beings don't come into the game park. That's a challenge we have, but government is taking it in earnest. We have also improved the laws. We have gazetted areas by law. That is one of the measures. In other words, let me tell you, conservation of wildlife is not merely a responsibility of government alone. No, this is a humanitarian responsibility because we are keeping these gifts of nature and God in trust for the entire human race to come and see. So tell your audience, come and visit us. We have kept this precisely for you guys to observe.
Thank you, Minister. With the population of Uganda growing rapidly, what steps has the government taken to see that people and wildlife live together in peace?
You know, the issue of human population is complex in the sense that the country's population carrying capacity is a function not only of land size. No, it is a function of the resource endowment. It is a function of skills you give to people so that people can live off the land and become dominant in the service sector. For instance, if the increased population is trained and people have skills, we don't need all crowd on the land to compete with wildlife. No, you can go into transport, you can go into teaching, you can go into professional disciplines like health sector. You can move into all these areas. So Uganda's population rate could become a dividend, could become a demographic dividend rather than looking at it as a curse, competing with wildlife on the land. And we are going to handle it because right now government is embarking on massive educational program, universal primary education, universal secondary education, but more importantly, there is vocationalization of education so that you give people skills in order for them not to be so dependent on the land. Yeah? This population scale, like if you are an economist, like as if it is Martha's days of population becoming too many and predicting disaster, hunger. No, we must now plan Uganda's population. Let me just give you an example. Uganda's size, land size, is almost like Britain. But Britain has more than 60 million people, and they are not complaining about overpopulation. Uganda's population is about 33 million, almost half of what the Britain has. So the issue of population explosion in Uganda must now be handled in that skillful manner of equipping your population with skills so that they become a dynamic force for economic transformation instead of becoming a burden. And we are going to do it so that this business of balancing between wildlife and population increase is handled.
Minister, how much does the tourism industry contribute to Uganda's GDP?
The numbers we have, this is what I was telling you. Previously, tourism was not seen as an integral part of the national economy. That has changed. As I'm talking to you, tourism contributes more than 9.2% of GDP. It earns foreign exchange in the tune of $662 million US, consequently reducing pressure on the balance of payment position. It employs more than 7% of the Uganda's labor force. And it has a multiplier because every time a tourist arrives at the airport, he pays a visa fee. That's an income, some guy. He jumps into the car to the hotel. That's an income. He stays in the hotel. That's an income. He is entertained in the hotel. That's an income. He eats food in the hotel. That's an income. He buys a souvenir. That's an income. And all these multiplier services are now factored into the equation so that tourism, in addition, we are also embarking on a program where 20% of foreign exchange earned from tourism is plowed back into communities neighboring tourist attractions in order to make tourism meaningful to the local communities. This is the program we have also embarked on. So we are positioned now to make Uganda the preferred destination for tourists. We are making tourism appreciated domestically. We want to introduce even wildlife clubs in schools and wildlife associations in private sector so that this industry, which is one of the fastest growing industry in the world globally, yes, globally, we talk about something like 919 million worth of incomes and 940 million arrivals of human beings traveling. Tourism is the key if we can do work so that it is sustainably developed. And Uganda, we should be able to do that.
Minister, when do you expect all these projects or programs that you have to be in effect?
It takes time. We now have a national development plan. We are developing a tourist master plan, which will define the strategic directions of the country for the next 5 years. And we begin with a review of the sector, which we are really doing. So all these programs will be implemented over time. We are beginning with tourist infrastructure so that you can access these tourist attractions in terms of electricity, in terms of roads, in terms of water, in terms of telecommunication or technologies. But equally important, we are working very hard for maintaining a secure and stable environment, which is very key for sustained tourism. Tourism as a sector is very sensitive to external and internal shocks.
That's the question that I was coming on.
Yeah, that's the one you are questioning.
Yes. That's the question that I was going to ask. That what has the government done to improve the confidence of the outside world in terms of peace and security, as it is a key to the tourist industry?
Here, members of the press, you can really help, because every time I travel, sometimes the thing people remember about Uganda is the last king of Scotland. And this is really very disturbing. The members of the press, you need to do a little bit more. For the last more than 25 years, Uganda has been very stable, very secure, and even this rating we are getting from Lonely Planet, one of the factors they single out is Kampala is one of the safest capitals in the region. That security, that safety, which we have painstakingly established in the country, should be known in the world. And you take that responsibility as a member of the press. Tell the world, Uganda is very secure.
We'll be able to
very
do
secure.
So. We'll be able to do so.
Thank you very
Minister,
much. Yes.
The infrastructure of the country is also key.
Very key.
To the tourist industry.
I agree.
Any take on the infrastructure of Uganda in general?
One, infrastructure is not only necessary for tourism, but for the nation's competitiveness. You need very efficient infrastructure. And Uganda being landlocked, it is even more important for particular attention to be paid to infrastructure. So government is embarking on massive program for power generation. You must have heard about Bujagara electric project, a big one. Karuma is another one planned. Ayago is another one. Isimba is another one. So in terms of energy supply, you need energy for the economy to grow, and you need energy for tourists to grow. That generation of energy is going to help not only the general economy, but more important, for particular national parks, extending electricity to these areas for tourist attraction. We are also improving on the roads so that we have tourist roads secured. We are also starting a tourist police force as a component of enhancing security for the tourists so that they feel very, very secure. The supply of water is also another element in the infrastructure network, as well as ICT, the whole communication technologies, so that wherever you are, you can reach the world within the game park. All that infrastructure we are embarking on them. In sum total, our priorities as a government in the National Development Plan is infrastructure, 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 as a focus on competitiveness for the country, both for the economy as a whole, but also equally for the tourist sector as a component.
Let me ask this question, Minister.
Yes,
I believe
sure.
many would like to hear it.
Sure.
Most of the government funding in Uganda is geared towards the science careers. How does your industry help gifted students who would like to major in tourism?
No, this is a very key, because let me just share with you. The country can only be as good as the quality of its citizens. This is given. Similarly, tourism as a sector can only be good at the quality of its staff, the human resource that you have. So we must pay attention to the development of human resources, because that's the driving force. Countries exist primarily for the good of its people, because the people are the engine, are the means, are the purpose, are the planners, are the implementers, are the beneficiaries of planning process. You need people. You need qualified people. You need knowledgeable people. You need to recognize talent. And one of the binding constraints that limit the rate at which we can move is the quality of the population you have, the quality of staff you have. So we are embarking on this one as a very primary, basic requirement for us. We are working with international institutions, United Nations Tourist World Organization. We are working with UNDP. We are working with the World Bank. We are training our staff. And bilaterally, we have been sending people abroad. And also, we have actual courses in the universities also towards tourism. We support it. We really support. We have also been getting technical assistance. People coming from outside to come and work with us as a way of transferring knowledge and skills, working with our people, and consequently assimilating that knowledge. We have also a lot of them. Even during the time I have been here, been talking with guys from Oxford who want to come and help. I've been talking to guys who send volunteers for Uganda Wildlife Education Center Trust in BENtv. We are not an island. We are part of the world, and we must compete.
Thank you, Minister, for that.
Thank you.
What message would you like to give to the people of Uganda in the diaspora?
In the diaspora. Well, George, let me mention the following for Ugandans working abroad. Internationally, there is this big concept of free movement of capital and labor. But in the meeting we had during this World Travel Market Conference here, ministers of tourism raised an issue of migration. Developed countries getting worried about the migration of people coming from third world countries. The message I'm giving to the Ugandans is that it is it is very good to work abroad. But ultimately, as long as nations recognize citizens as the basis of their international relations, your country is the ultimate destination for you. And whatever you do abroad, I would want Ugandans to maintain interest in the development of their own country, to do all they can to attract tourists to Uganda, their home country, and to encourage us to link up with them so that there is a benefit which ultimately we have been very pleased by Ugandans' remittances coming to develop their home as they prepare finally to come home. This has helped in the development of the country. If you look in the construction industry and indeed education, Ugandans abroad have done an excellent job. Therefore, my message, Uganda is your home. Uganda is your ultimate destination. Support Uganda wherever you are. Attract tourists so that the country becomes competitive and becomes a mother you can be proud of as you are working abroad. Thank you, Minister. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Atowoli mwavu tekibalwanya tuli bannayuganda yaddosula mu katango yokyakasoliwo tokyawansiyo yuwe Ugandan ne bwogende Bulaya nowansa omuzungu nze nempasa omusoga tekikukyusa yadde ennyindo yoli mpanvu ate yoli nnyimpi temutusosola. We are brothers, etoke ne chinyebwa, lumonde ne kawo, yemmere ya kuno, jagala nnyo Uganda, ndi munna Uganda, jagala nnyo Uganda, ndi mwana wa kuno, nze ndi mwana wa kuno, nasomera wano, nze nkolera wano, ate ndizikibwa kuno, yadde emyala giwunya, it's my motherland, I love Uganda. Waliwo lovuga no gwa mukinya enguudo za kuno eyo ye Uganda zenenkero kukola gwolinda kunyaga olibotya naye. Let's work together otemulo otyo mwana yadde tomuzaala oyo mwana wonaye. Let's love the children. Ngoyagala okutema genda otema ebiku tulekewo Uganda. Let's save Uganda. Ndi munna Uganda, jagala nnyo Uganda. Ndi mwana wa kuno, nze ndi mwana wa kuno, nasomera wano, ndifumbirwa kuno, nze ndizikibwa kuno. I'm Uganda.